Good morning, everybody. Eric Smith, Race Review Online, coming from my hotel room in Daytona Beach, Florida. Actually doesn't pick up till later at the track, so gonna get here, maybe go down to the beach for a little bit later, get some sun before I head over. But want to talk about the duels last night. I thought they were incredibly entertaining races. You had anything you can want: close finishes, mayhem, um, a big crash that shook up things, open cars, emotion, and an air Titan crashed. Everything you kind of wanted in a duel for 123 laps of action. The second duel with overtime, but I thought it was a wild night of racing. We saw the four open cars solidify their spots. The 40 car field is full, but it all worked out. I mean, from the Titan crash in 2021, right? Starting less like 2020. But I think the first takeaway is the close finishes and the racing that we saw. The energy picked up in the end, and we got Austin Dillon beating Christopher Bell by .041 seconds in the first duel. The second duel, Austin Dillon ended up beating Bubba Wallace by .057 seconds in the margin of victory. That both made great race maneuvers off of the fourth corner, and from what I gather from talking to drivers all the last couple weeks on Zoom calls, that we're going to see a finish like that for the Daytona 500 whenever it runs. Hopefully Sunday, knock on wood. Um, Weather's not going to cooperate, it seems, but crazier things have happened. And also, a couple years ago, said 100% chance of rain for the Indy 500, and it didn't rain a drop. So we'll see. It's still too early to tell, but if that's the kind of finishes we get, buckle up, because you're going to see guys making some bold moves up front. And as Almirola said, you can't make those moves from 15th on back anymore. You're going to have to be up front. So it could be a crash fest later in the race, but once we get to the finish, come to the last lap, I think you're going to have the last lap pass for the win. And last night proved that. I thought the big story, too, was the open cars. Austin Cindric controlled the race early in the first duel to race his way in, and then he got popped speeding on pit road, and the new digital dash for him, these cup cars have had it for a couple years. This is his first ever cup start. He's never been in a cup car before. Could that have played a factor? Probably, but he admitted that, hey, he's got to not make that mistake, even if it was his first time. He lost the draft, fell a lap down, but lo and behold, hopped in behind his new buddy, Ryan Preece, because he needed Ryan Preece to race his way in with him being a lap down. At that point, it looked like Ty Dillon was in control. He was running up front. He was fifth. Didn't get a final caution there, and was running all the way to the front, and was looking like he was going to transfer in the Gaunt Brothers number 96 Toyota. And then lo and behold, Austin Cindric pushing Ryan Preece in the last lap was incredible to watch. Beat Ty Dillon for fifth place by inches. Ryan Preece gets the open spot. He raced his way in, even though he didn't have to. He could have fell back on his qualifying time. More on that in a second. And that allowed Austin Cindric, because he was the third fastest in qualifying on Wednesday night, to get in on speed. And what happened is the duels, you get two cars in from open cars, and the other four are going to go home. But on Wednesday night, the top two open cars automatically got in because they could fall back on speed. And that was Ryan Preece and David Reagan. But Ryan Preece wanted points. They don't have any. They don't have a charter, and they don't want to come behind the eight ball going into the season. So even though they already qualified their way in, they thought, hey, the duels give points. We could get these. They're like stage points, so why not? And he did so. He wanted help. He wanted to move forward instead of hang out in the back, and Cindric pushed him there and got him the much needed points. It got him in, and so that means the race spot for the duels goes to Preece. You fall back on the next best qualifying time, and that ended up being Austin Cindric. So despite him being a lap down and Ty Dillon finishing sixth, Cindric's in, Dillon's out. In a weird way of events, actually, Ty Dillon's brother, Austin Dillon, wins the second duel. So it's the agony and the triumph all in one night for the Dillon family. Austin Dillon's in. Similar kind of situation for the open cars. Garrett Smidley and Noah Gragson were looking like they were going to be in. Kaz Grala got caught up in an early race wreck, or about a mid-race wreck, I should say. Had some damage. He looked down and out. Garrett Smidley made a bonehead move, I felt, coming out of the tri-oval. Hooked Brad Keselowski, caused the big wreck. Noah Gragson's involved. Smidley had damage. Gregson's out of the race. Smidley falls a lap down, and there's Grala all over again. And all he had to do was just limp home ahead of Smidley. And he got lucky because David Reagan, who, like I just said, had to speed the fall back on, finished eighth because nobody else really wanted to finish. And he raced his way in, and that goes to the final spot too, Kaz Grala. So you got Grala and Cindric that gets in. Reagan and Preece race their way in, coincidentally enough. And those are your guys that make the final four spots of the Daytona 500. Another thing I thought interesting was Hendrick Motorsports. They said all week that they were going to treat the speed weeks like they're going to come out and flex their muscle. They haven't won a Daytona 500 since 2014, and they were really hoping to get a win here this year. They've always qualified well. They've won all but one pole since 2015. They just have not won a Daytona 500 in that span. They locked out the front row, and then I thought it was what it could have been a good showing, ended up a bad showing for them. Alex Bowman developed a vibration early. Hopefully it's not in the engine so he can keep a starting spot. Luckily they got 2 practice sessions Saturday. I think they'll figure it out. William Byron looked like the class of the field and combined both duels, making moves top, bottom, had the speed. Not sure what he was thinking with 10 to go, getting mixed up there. When the guys try to start bum rushing him, he's tried to stay up front instead of just falling to the back. He had nothing to gain, everything to lose, and he got caught up in that wreck that Smithley caused. And now he's going to have to go his backup car, gives up his second starting position, and now he's coming from the back on Sunday. So that could have cost them a little bit. They did have good cars, but we'll see if the backup car is as good as the primary. My other thing, I think Almirola looks great. Had 52 of 60 laps, was third fastest in qualifying on Wednesday. Watch out for him on Sunday. He's very confident. Ryan Newman, starting fifth on Sunday, was right up front. The Fords look strong. The manufacturing alliances are going to be key. But another big takeaway I thought too from last night is Hendrick, Gibbs, and Penske. They've won all but 17 races during speed weeks since 2005. That's entering this year. They won 14 of the last 15 duels. They looked like the favorites, and they got shut out last night. Stuart Haas Racing and Richard Childress Racing won the duels. The qualifying races have been quick. 11 of the last 12 have been completed in less than an hour, including both last night. The first duel is 44 minutes in length, the second duel 59 minutes. That's because of that the wreck there towards the end and the overtime finish. Sorry about that. Trying to look at my notes and position my phone. 8 of the last 9 Daytona 500s, the winners have come from the top 14. That means that everybody that finished the top 7 last night, you're sitting pretty right now. One pole winner has won the duels in the last 32 duel starts. That's because most of them go to the back. I think Alex Bowman was going to do that anyways. William Byron should have. There's no sense to wreck your Daytona 500 primary car for no reason when you already had that starting spot, but Byron did. The last 12 duel winners have come from the top 2 rows on back, or the top 8, I'm sorry. Eric Almirola started second last night, Austin Dillon fourth. So starting spots still matter. That's why the top 14 for the Daytona 500 could matter. The starting spots, the first 7 rows. If that's the case, you got to look at Logano, Blaney, Newman. Kyle Larson's up there. Could Chase Elliott get a win? It's going to be interesting, but I thought the duels were thrilling. We got the truck race tonight. Xfinity and ARCA hopefully tomorrow on the Daytona 500 Sunday, and we'll be back for more. Thank you.